the people who created the financial system didn't forecast that this was going to happen.
We only 5 minutes into this, and I'm already blown away. The origin of Bitcoin, which I was going to get into, ask you about how you felt about it, but it makes so much sense. They want to create this fairy tale story behind this person who invented this thing to liberate and free you. But actuality, why would they invest in this person to liberate and free you if they don't know who made it, how to control it, how to manipulate it? And it's all controlled by one person. What country in their right mind would put all their belief, power behind somebody they don't know, never heard of, who invented this thing and just put it in the atmosphere? Damn.
It's just for you to ask questions. I'm 100% certain that's it. But I'm telling you, based on my findings and my research, that's what makes the most sense to me.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about this. Bitcoin, it's like it's 100,000. You know, it's ranging in that range now while we speak, 90,000 to 100,000. Do you think it will get to that ultimate number of 200, 300, 500, a million? And if so, how wide? And give nobody has a crystal ball, right? But a projected timeline. And then we're going to get into the other facets of the more useful coins that don't cost as much. But I want to close the door in the Bitcoin conversation about it, because that's the first thing on everybody's mind, and throw in your thoughts on it also.
Let me share something that most common Bitcoin maxis don't like to share. Maybe they don't even know. So pull up a chair. I'll teach.
Talk that talk.
So again, you have to know the industry to know that this is fact. All right. There's this thing called Tether pump, right? So Tether is a stable coin, and it's the issuer of USDT. You may know it as, right? So this is the largest stable coin by market cap. It's always been. So that means when you on-ramp into cryptocurrency, a majority of the time you're using Tether, right? We've been conditioned to use it. It was just what was there, right? Tether is also closely tied to Bitcoin. So when you hear government officials talking about there's illicit activity that happens through cryptocurrency, there's a dark market, they're 100% right with that. So Tether was brought into court by New York secretary, right? And they've been in court with them since. And one of the stipulations was Tether was not allowed to mint any more coins. So what I mean by mint is they're just pulling coins out of thin air. So they could literally throw $1 trillion inside the market, right? So what happens is when you follow the minting of Tether, you start to realize that the next asset that all that money flows into is Bitcoin. So it's not regular people, retail investors that are moving the needle at all with this asset. There's something going on in the background that allows this much money to flow through it. So when I peel back the onion a little bit more, I said, all right, how does the US government benefit off of this? Because any country, China has stopped it, Russia has stopped. There's a lot of countries, it's not a thing, right? They limit the access, people's access to it. And I'm like, why is the United States not doing it? So when you look at Tether's reserves, and one of the reasons why they got brought into court is because when you start a stable coin, you need to be backed 1-to-1. That means for every one coin you have out there, you should have $1, something equal to it in reserve, or you become what? The same thing as the US dollar. You're just making things up.
Right.
So Tether could never really show that, but they never really had the day in court. And the reason I know that they never really we know that they didn't have the day in court yet. They're starting to cut them off now, right? But before they did it, what the United States did is, and predominantly what the CIA did, was they went over to Tether, right? Those junk bonds that the United States used to sell to other countries that they're not accepting anymore, that they're dropping, you needed to do something with it. So guess who they called on? Their buddy that they know is washing money, and they basically took it over. They said, you guys have to carry a certain amount of US bonds and hold them in your reserve. So Tether is really just propping up the United States market right now. That's the part that people don't understand.